Hey guys, this is Brian Fan with Short Closing, and I have here Margaret Valentino, and we, closed on her property just last week in East Point in Atlanta, and I wanted to have her on here just to kind of share her story and how it was working with us and my team and her experience. So Meg, you want to take off and kind of introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Meg Valentino. I'm a 41-year-old veterinarian. I live in New York right now. I bought the house in East Point in 2008 when I moved there with the Army. I didn't realize that that was the beginning of the housing bubble. So after I bought it, of course, the housing will crash. And then once I got out of the Army, I was expecting to rent it out, and then it basically Army base closed. So with the crash of the housing market, I wasn't able to sell it, so I was trying to rent it out. I rented it at least once, and then the second renter kind of destroyed the whole property, unfortunately, because I had some other family issues and I just wasn't totally on top of it. So it was going to cost probably $20,000 initially to fix it up, because there's like pieces everywhere, urine everywhere, floors were destroyed, appliances had to be thrown away. I had to pay for removing all of that stuff. And I had really hoped that I could keep it and then send it and get it set up to rent it out again. And unfortunately, that kind of fell through. So I elected that I just needed to try to sell it. So I contacted Brian with Short Closing, as well as some other realtors to try to figure out what was the best price I could get for it. I was hoping for a lot more, but given, unfortunately, the market and just the situation with the house, I think we got to the best possible outcome for the situation. And Brian was very communicative and very understanding of the situation and gave me good advice and realistic assessment of what was going on. So I thought like he really helped to make the whole process as less painful as it was otherwise.
Yeah,
So
and as Meg kind of mentioned, she lives in New York. She's a veterinarian up there, and she, doesn't have time to come down here for the closing or meet me. This is actually our first time kind of meeting each other. We just only spoken to each other over the phone and text. That's it. Yeah, and how did you find us again? Was it through Facebook?
I was just Googling various like real estate realtors and looking for like how to sell a property that had a hoarder in it, things like that. It just kind of, and I was reading reviews and and contacted various different sites, I think, and I had a couple of other people, and it ended up working out with you.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand the challenge of being out of state and having a vacant property, and I think it was vacant for was it like a year?
Yeah, it was a year, because I had really hoped that I was going to be getting my IRS refund check, which would have been about $20,000, and then with the pandemic, it just never materialized, and then I ended up getting the IRS wanted the initial homeowners first buyer, first time homeowners credit, and then that was a $3,000. So it was just, and I'm a single mom with 2 kids and lots of credit card debt from my marriage with my soon to be ex-husband. So it just, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, just having that property, and you still had a mortgage on there, and
Yep.
no tenant, so you had to pay that mortgage, and obviously your personal house too, while working a full-time job, and dealing with just personal stuff amidst like COVID. So I'm sure it was a lot of challenges for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess with kind of everything so far, did you kind of expect, hey, me being in New York and closing, was it kind of what you expected, or was it easier, harder?
Because I had sold the house that I had been living in Georgia. Because I had already moved out of state when that house was sold. So I closed that distant. I went to like a local lawyer, I guess, to like sign some of the closing documents, and they like sent that back. So I didn't have to go down to Georgia for that. So I figured that would be a similar kind of process.
Okay, awesome. So you had a little bit more experience than most sellers that we work with. It's like, man, you can close like virtually and not have to be here. So it's definitely convenient. And I think we
Yes,
had
it
a
was definitely
yeah, I think
helpful.
we had a for us we had to order a mobile notary for you too to come to your practice to get everything signed.
Yep, and that was very, very helpful because he was actually a little early, but he showed up and I had looked at you had emailed me the document ahead of time, so I was kind of familiar with it, which also helped. And then I signed it, and he was somewhat familiar with the documents, so in case I had absolutely no idea, he kind of went over them a little bit. And then I signed it, and then he mailed it, or have you FedEx or whatever. And that was very helpful because then it was done.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, we love mobile notaries. It makes it so much easier for everybody. And the best part of it is like after they get the documents, they'll go and drop it off for you too. So you don't even have to leave your house if you didn't want to.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been able to until like the next day, realistically, my schedule and everything.
Absolutely. So how does it feel after, you kind of close that chapter in your life and, don't have that burden of that property anymore? How do you feel?
It's a relief to slowly be getting various things taken care of. I certainly wish that I had not had the terrible tenant that destroyed the house, because that's a huge amount of money. That it's probably good 30, 40, $50,000 that I lost on that, which is pretty significant for a single parent with two kids. But sometimes that's what life is, and you just have to figure out where you're at and figure out how to move forward. And this was one of those steps that I had to fix. So thank you for
Okay.
helping me fix it, that part.
Absolutely. I'm happy that were able to get past this and not have to put any more money into a property that wasn't making you any money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because TV make it seem like, being a landlord and having property so like glamorous and, all that, but they don't really tell you, hey, once a tenant leaves, it's like, man, you gotta like fix everything, paint, carpet, and basic stuff. And by that time, it's like, man, I just
Yeah.
lost your
Yeah.
profit.
Yeah. Exactly. You just have to really have at least a management company to manage it if you're renting something. And I had good luck with my first tenant, and then I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to pay $70 a month for, someone to manage it. But, now that the person destroyed it, you realize that would have been probably worthwhile.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you too. Having a property management company kind of take care of the property is a must. I mean, especially if you live out of state, because
Yeah.
if you're kind of managing yourself, I would imagine really difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, any last words before we kind of wrap up? Like,
I liked that you were very you listened a lot to what my concerns were, and I thought you were very receptive to it. And I liked that you were very communicative back and forth, like you CC'd all the parties that were participating, so that way I felt there was a lot of transparency in how I went about things. So that was very helpful. I really appreciate that very much.
absolutely. And I appreciate you for choosing to do business with us, giving us the opportunity to do this. Thank you.
Thank you.